So why are you still single anyway? Just unlucky. Both to people who have found love and to those who have not, it feels like luck plays a large role. God, we were so lucky to find each other. What if one of us hadn't gone to that party? It's scary to think we might never have met. Or, how did they get so lucky? Why can't I find someone like that? Why not me? Luck may be a factor, but it is the purpose of this book to suggest that the harder you work, the luckier you will get. Luck needs help, and luck has a hard time breaking through if you continually stand in its way. Besides luck, then, why are you still single? 7 powerful lessons from the book. If I am so wonderful, why am I still single? 1. Wishful thinking has not brought you love. Neither has apathy, depression, denial, anger, panic, analyzing the problem, blaming the opposite sex, or cursing the bleak demographics. So if you still want love in your life, the question is, what will bring you love? Perseverance. The way to achieve any goal is first to know what the goal is, and then to proceed unswervingly toward it, patiently but persistently overcoming any obstacles which present themselves, with perseverance, tenacity, and determination. Yet in spite of all our obsessing about the state of relationships today, perseverance is one of the rarest qualities to be found among singles. We've all heard about the tortoise and the hare, but we fail to learn the lesson of the tortoise. Instead, we dash about like the hare, trying relationships that don't work, tormenting ourselves with theories, believing our excuses, following one false lead, then another, and finally, like the hare, simply falling asleep in the middle of the race. Why? Why do we long for love, yet fail to proceed in a determined fashion toward this goal? Why do we get sidetracked? Ambivalence is one major reason. We aren't sure which race we want to be in or whether we want to be in any race at all. 2. The first obstacle singles in search of love must overcome is the seemingly horrendous numbers problem. If you are searching for love, your problem is not numbers. You should behave as though these silly articles don't exist. Your chances of finding a good relationship are what you make them. There are men out there, and all you have to find for yourself is one. Whether or not you find that man has nothing to do with statistics and everything to do with how serious you are about wanting a good relationship and what you are willing to do to make it happen. If you are highly motivated and quite active in your search, you will increase your odds dramatically over your sisters who do nothing to promote their cause. So don't let the statistics discourage you. Women of all ages are connecting with terrific men all the time. There is no reason why you can't be one of them if you want to be, and if you are willing to do something about it, persistently and patiently. 3. Know good ways to meet people is a wonderful excuse to stay single without having to take responsibility for it. By relying on this explanation, singles can protect themselves from falling in love and either being rejected or having to face all the fears and dangers they imagine love entails. They are a little like the overweight woman who obsessively searches out every diet she can find, tries each one for 2 days, and then proudly tells everyone that diets don't work for her, and that she will just always be fat. But something even more subtle may be going on too. The no good ways to meet people excuse lets a single person keep hope alive, for all that stands between him or her and eternal bliss is some brilliant new magic method. That's why meeting people is such a popular subject. It is one of those topics, like dieting, on which one can never get enough information. We eagerly snatch up every new article on how to meet people in the hope of finding some elusive secret, something other people know, but that we somehow missed out on. No way to meet people keeps many singles right where they want to be. Single but hopeful. They get the safety of singlehood and the excitement of looking. 4. When you are single, your world is full of experts who are eager to give you free advice. And one of the first things they will tell you is this: your standards are too high, you have to be realistic. What you want doesn't exist. Be willing to compromise. Don't be so fussy. These well-wishers believe that if you will simply lower your standards, you will be successful. But successful at what? At getting into a relationship which is less than what you wanted? What kind of success is that? This is terrible advice. I have watched many people get into problematic relationships because they believed that what they really wanted was unrealistic. One woman actually told me, "I thought I'd better compromise because I haven't found anything better." This belief system is insidious. By buying into the idea that we must lower our standards, we perpetuate the belief that really good relationships don't exist. We all settle for less than wonderful partners and then get to look around and say, "See, I was right. There are no ideal relationships." Such reasoning does not serve anyone. It is a pessimistic, not a realistic worldview. It will ultimately result in a lowering of self-esteem because after you put energy into a relationship, the feeling, "This is the best I could get," transforms slowly into, "This is the most I deserve." Actually, lowering your standards is impossible to do anyway. Your ideals and fantasies are what they are. It is not possible to alter them by an act of will, to simply wake up one day and say, "Well, I changed my mind. Now I don't care whether the person I date is communicative." It's like asking a leopard to change its spots. You may tell yourself you have lowered your standards, but the real ones are always there, lurking somewhere in the background. 5. Genuine intimacy is the process of being close with another person. Couples who are intimate come out from behind their masks when they are with each other. They have moved beyond fear and anxiety about each other. They have nothing left to suspect or to withhold. Most people equate sex and intimacy. When they hear intimacy, they think sex, and vice versa. I suspect that more misunderstanding and heartbreak result from the assumption that intimacy and sex are synonymous than from any other mistake described in this book. Sex and intimacy are discrete, separate experiences. They sometimes occur together, but each can and often does occur without the other. Two non-sexually involved women spending the evening together over a leisurely meal may be self-revealing, emotional, and trusting. That is, they may be intimate. By contrast, a sexually involved couple may make love every night with mutual enjoyment. Yet if they are not being emotionally and verbally honest with each other, gradually building trust, and sharing their inner lives with each other, then they are not intimate. Ironically, sex can be the very device that hinders the development of intimacy. For example, if a person begins to feel too close, is uncomfortable with the amount or type of information that is being exchanged, or is beginning to feel bored, usually a disguise for fear, with what the other is revealing, he or she can initiate sexual activity, thereby eliminating further intimacy at that time. Because both people will assume that sex is furthering intimate contact, the receiving partner will think it unloving not to respond. Yet he or she will justifiably feel cut off, frustrated, and confused. 6. Commitment phobia has reached epidemic proportions during the Great Emotional Depression. Never before have so many people fallen completely in love only to find themselves heartbroken after a short but intensive romance with a person who simply could not make a commitment. Yet, in spite of all the publicity it receives, many singles still seem unable to identify commitment phobia when they see it in another person, and to avoid the painful cycle to which it inevitably leads. In virtually every workshop I have conducted, someone relates a tragic tale about an encounter with a commitment phobe. And every time a new article appears on the subject, singles everywhere Xerox it excitedly as though it offered a brand new insight. They distribute it to all their friends, and they send anonymous copies to offending former lovers, fervently hoping that it will help them to see the light and reform. They write letters to editors about how they now feel understood and vindicated. The problem is that these same singles will, with much heartache, extricate themselves from their current commitment-phobic relationship and turn right around and get entangled in another one. 7. There is no such thing as one-sided intimacy. In genuinely intimate exchanges, both partners are full, equal participants. This does not mean that each partner must both talk and listen necessarily. For example, a therapeutic relationship in which the client talks and the therapist listens and responds may be quite intimate. The therapist is not sharing, but is fully there for the relationship. He or she is attentive, focused, compassionate, and participating totally in the interaction. Intimacy is about connecting with another person. The thrill, the joy, the pleasure of intimacy is precisely sharing that moment of connection or that lifetime of connection with another human being. 8. Finding the person you want to say yes to is a challenge, as we have seen, but actually saying yes is, for some, the most formidable challenge of all, because it means facing and overcoming fear. In the end, fear is what keeps many singles alone. Fear of rejection, fear of closeness, fear of dependence, fear of losing oneself, fear of failure. The comfortable single life may be lonely at times, but it is safe. If you keep just the right amount of distance, you won't have to risk being rejected or being loved. You won't have to risk becoming so close with someone that you will have to reveal closely held secrets or discover secrets you didn't even know you had. You won't have to risk pain. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, you probably will not see us again. If you have, congratulations, you are growing every day.